High in the unforgiving Caucasian Mountains, nature has never rewarded beauty, only survival. For centuries, the dogs living here weren't shaped by human ideas of what a dog should look like. They were shaped by hunger, by freezing winds, by predators, and by the relentless, rocky terrain. These were not pets, they weren't show dogs, and they definitely weren't symbols of prestige. They were working livestock guardians, and their lives depended entirely on how well they could do their job. Function was everything. Today, when you hear Caucasian Shepherd, you probably picture a massive, fluffy, intimidating giant. They're often marketed as one of the strongest dogs on the planet. But behind this popular image lies a much deeper, and often misunderstood truth. We're going to explore the real story of this legendary mountain guardian and uncover what was lost when we tried to standardize perfection. Modern ideas about the Caucasian Shepherd focus almost entirely on size and intimidation. People want the biggest, most imposing dog on the block. But in the mountains, raw power without stamina, agility, and intelligence is completely useless. Wolves don't just attack the weakest animals, they exploit mistakes. A true guardian had to be able to patrol huge territories, stay alert day and night, survive brutal storms with no shelter, and make critical decisions on its own, without any human telling it what to do. This harsh environment created the original Caucasian Highlander Dog. This wasn't a breed in the modern sense, it was a Landrace, shaped entirely by natural selection. A Landrace isn't defined by a specific color or exaggerated features, or what a judge in a show ring thinks is ideal. It's defined by one thing: functional correctness. The dogs might have looked a little different from one another, but they all shared the same essential traits: a structure built for work, a temperament built for guarding, and the ability to do the job. Any dog that failed at its task simply didn't survive to pass on its genes. It's that simple. So what did these original dogs look like? The Highlander had a rectangular body. It was strong but lean, muscular without any excess fat. Think about it: in mountainous terrain, extra weight is a huge liability. You need endurance, you need balance on steep slopes, and you need to cover long distances. These dogs were built for efficiency, not to look impressive standing still. Now let's talk about the head. It's one of the biggest differences. Unlike the blocky, almost mastiff-like heads you see on many modern Caucasian Shepherds, the Highlander's head was more wolf-like, but still incredibly powerful. It had a longer muzzle, tight skin, and almond-shaped, watchful eyes. This structure wasn't just for looks, it allowed for better breathing, faster reactions, and clearer decision-making. These were not mindless brutes. They were intelligent, calculating guardians, capable of assessing a threat and responding with precise, decisive action. And then there's the coat. This is one of the most misunderstood parts of the breed. The true Highlander dog did have a long coat, but it was never, ever woolly. It was made of harsh outer guard hairs with a moderate undercoat that would get thicker or thinner with the seasons. This is a critical distinction. A harsh coat repels water, resists getting matted, dries quickly, and doesn't freeze into a solid block of ice. A woolly coat, on the other hand, soaks up moisture like a sponge, mats easily, and can freeze solid. In the mountains, a woolly coat could be a death sentence, both in the freezing winter and in the summer when it would cause overheating. The Highlander's coat was a piece of survival engineering, created by nature itself. It allowed the dog to sleep in the snow, patrol for hours, and fight off predators without becoming immobilized or exhausted. So, if that's the original dog, where did the modern version come from? Everything changed in the 20th century, during the Soviet era. The Soviet Union began a massive project to standardize native dog breeds for military and state purposes. The famous Red Star Kennel took charge of reshaping the Caucasian Shepherd. And their goal was very different from that of the mountain shepherds. They weren't focused on livestock guarding. They wanted intimidation, they wanted massive size, and they wanted a dog that was easier to control. To achieve this, they started mixing the original Highlander dogs with heavy Mastiff-type breeds and other regional dogs. Suddenly, appearance started to matter more than function. And from this process, the modern Caucasian Shepherd Dog emerged, massive, oversized, heavy-boned, and visually imposing. And while no one can deny they look powerful, this new type came at a steep price. The cost of this exaggeration is significant. Many modern Caucasian Shepherds suffer from problems their ancestors never had. They have reduced endurance and limited agility. The extreme weight, the very wide chests, the shorter muzzles, loose skin, and heavy lips can all lead to breathing difficulties. Their woolly, overly dense coats might be great for a photo in the snow, but they become a serious problem in normal or warm temperatures, leading to overheating and respiratory stress. In real mountain conditions, these traits are not advantages, they are burdens. A true livestock guardian needs to patrol alone, think for itself, conserve energy, and then explode into action only when absolutely necessary. These are qualities that you can't create in a kennel or a show ring. They have to be forged over generations of real, hard work. The temperament has also shifted. And like a police dog or a personal protection dog, a livestock guardian isn't trained to follow commands all day. The original Caucasian Highlander was highly territorial and fiercely independent, but it was also calm until action was required. This independence is what allowed it to make intelligent decisions when the shepherd was miles away. Many modern Caucasian Shepherds, however, have been bred to be more dependent on humans. They are often slower to react and are better suited for guarding a fenced property than for protecting a flock of sheep on a vast, open mountain. When you put the two side by side, the differences are striking. The Highlander exists for survival and the job of guarding. The modern type often exists for show and for its image. The Highlander's coat is harsh and functional, the modern coat is woolly and excessive. The Highlander's movement is agile and built for endurance, the modern dog is often heavy and less mobile. Even in terms of size, the original Highlander was more moderate, typically weighing between 45 to 60 kilograms. Modern show dogs can easily exceed 85 kilograms, with some reaching extreme weights of over 100 kilos. So what was lost? And what still remains? The good news is that the original Caucasian Highlander dog still exists. It lives on quietly, far away from the show rings and social media feeds. It survives in places where function still matters more than anything else, where predators are a constant threat and continue to test for any sign of weakness. This isn't to say the modern Caucasian Shepherd is a bad dog. It's not. It is simply a different dog, bred for a different purpose. But we need to be honest about the history. Something vital, something powerful, was lost in the pursuit of exaggeration. Preserving these true working guardian dogs means we have to respect function over fashion. History has shown us, time and time again, what happens when we value form over purpose. And if we fail to learn from that lesson, we risk losing these incredible breeds forever. Thank you so much for joining us on this journey into the mountains. If you found this story as fascinating as we do, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel for more deep dives into the world of dogs, and let us know in the comments what you think. We'll see you in the next one.